Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Caleb, and today we're gonna have a real raw conversation about what it's gonna take to get ahead of other men in 2025. This is not gonna be your typical go work out, read books, what kind of jargon that we hear all the time. You need to be doing that. Yes, work out, read books, please. Do yourself a favor, do all those things. But this can be more of a step by step plan and sort of shift in mentality that you need to be taking this year to get ahead of other men. And I'll tell you what, the good news is the bar has never been lower. Men nowadays uh, uh, are a little pathetic. I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little pathetic. We have men who play video games all day, don't do anything with their lives. We have men who are enabling models online to make ridiculous amounts of money to just pictures and stuff. We have men who are not taking accountability and taking care of their families with the high divorce rates, right? So the bar has never been lower for men. And that's the good news is if you do just a little bit more than everyone else, then you're going to be standing out. You're going to get ahead of the pack. And that's what I want to talk about today. Not so much the bad news, but the reality is it is going to take a bit of work and it's going to take a lot of consistency to get to where you want to be. And it's not going to be a process of, a month, 2 months. This is a thing that's ongoing for the rest of your life. We're talking about a lifetime of this. These aren't steps that you do in the next year. These are steps that you should be doing throughout the entire course of your life. So I want to get started with my first one here, which is hold yourself accountable. That's the very first thing. You can't be a better man if you're not accountable with yourself. What does that mean? That means looking at yourself, analyzing 2024, analyzing your previous year, and saying, did I grow as a person? How did I improve as a man? What skills did I learn? What sort of traits have I gained that have made me a better man, that I'm deserving of more, right? These are things you have to be really real with yourself, and sometimes it's hard. I'm guilty of this myself. I would also kind of trick myself into thinking, "Hey, I'm doing better than most people. Like, so I'm good. I can kind of chill, right?" So, you have to be real with yourself. It starts with just that. Be real. Are you progressing as a man? Are you taking active steps every single day to become a better man, in your life, a better friend, a better husband, a better boyfriend, better student, better worker, right? These are all things that come with being a better man. And so that is the very first step to all this. Be accountable with yourself. The second is a big one that our generation, particularly younger guys, we struggle with really badly, and that is chasing dopamine. And really, my sort of tag here, my sort of phrase, my lesson here is my step is redirect the dopamine. You hear a lot of people talking about, oh, we're addicted to dopamine, which is true. There's so many distractions out there. There's so many things that you can get a quick dopamine hit from, whether it's playing video games, whether it's porn and things of that matter, whether it's a TV show, whatever it is that you're using to get those quick dopamine hits that don't have long-term benefits or really just damage you, not just in the short term but the long term. um it's not so much about getting rid of dopamine as a feeling, which it's the body's chemical to feeling good. It's more so redirecting where you get that dopamine from. So what does that mean? um you have to learn to get the dopamine rushes from stuff like from productive things, for example, right? A productive way to redirect your dopamine is going to the gym, hitting a new personal record, right? Lifting some more weight that you never lifted. That's what I'm talking about when I mean redirecting dopamine. Instead of relying on something spontaneous, like a video game or like a TV show or like an anime, whatever it is. I'm not saying any of those things are inherently wrong in terms of video games stuff like that. However, if you're so addicted to getting dopamine rushes for them, you're never going to advance in life. So you have got to learn to receive that dopamine from other channels. Those other channels can be working out, building relationships, in person, please. That doesn't count online. Um, it also means building a business in your work. Find love in your work. When you accomplish something, when you make a sale, when you finish building a software or something in your coding, whatever it is, find ways to fall in love with the work and get dopamine hits that way. I took a big step when I stopped gaming and decided to hey, you know what? Let me see if I can redirect all this effort and focus that I'm putting into this game and that feeling of dopamine. And can I put that instead in a business? Or what would happen if I just started redirecting that dopamine sort of hit into other forms that are maybe more productive that can get me ahead of other men this year or the year before, whatever it may be, right? So redirecting your dopamine is really important to developing as a man because unfortunately there are some things in this world that are going to hold you back. Dopamine and distractions that comes with it and chasing it is a big factor in that. So learn to redirect your dopamine. And speaking of that, it leads me to my next point, which is less consuming, more building. I mentioned redirecting your dopamine. Okay, a great avenue to do so is redirect it into producing, into building something. Whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's building your own company, whether it's building your own website, whether it's building your own personal brand, building your own info product, building your own digital product. The idea is the way you're going to get ahead of other men and really everyone in general is by doing less consuming and more building. It's so easy to consume, consume, consume. If you're in the US, consumerism is at an all-time high. It's spread. It's not just US; it's spread all around the world. We want to be consumers. We're consumers first. But the people that get ahead, the people that fulfill the full potential in their lives and fulfill their full potential as a man, are people that are building. Right. So it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not here to tell you to go. I'm a strong believer that every guy needs to do a sales job. I'm not going to tell you go do a sales job. Go build build an entire corporation and building. Sometimes building a company and having your own business is not the best way to start out, but find ways to build more. Use what you consume. Nothing wrong with consuming if it's stuff that is going to help you in the building part, but your building should direct your consuming. Is how I kind of see it. Is I want to build my own business. So I want to consume things that help sort of boost and amplify that. So the idea is consume things that are going to help your building in that front, right? And that's where it gets a little tricky because sometimes you can get little mini dopamine hits and I would say a feeling of accomplishment watching self-help videos or how to do this videos. But if you're consuming more than you're building, you're doing it wrong. You got to flip that. You got to flip that. You have to build more. That's how you're not only gonna actually actually create something to begin with, but that's how you're gonna grow. Because when you're building, you're growing, you're learning along the way as you're doing it. You're gonna make mistakes, but guess what? That's gonna allow you to redirect and take the right path, right? And learn from those mistakes that you can take for the rest of your life. So again, less consuming, more building should be one of the things you should be doing this year. That's gonna get you ahead of every other man. All of these men out here, we're all consumers, right? If you're building, you're already ahead of a lot of people and a lot of men in that particular way. Stay focused, right? When you're building something, nothing that's worth building nothing that's worth building is gonna take a day to do, right? And when I also mean building, I mean building yourself as a person, right? You build yourself a little up every single day, 1%, 0.5% every single day. But it's gonna take time. As I mentioned earlier in this video, becoming a better man isn't just a 1 year thing. I mentioned 2025, how to get ahead of man, but this is going to be relevant 2026, 2027, 2028. It's a never ending path, right? And so you've got to stay focused. You have to stay focused on your mission, on what you're building, what you're doing. There's a lot of distractions out there. There's a lot of new shiny products, new shiny things that, oh, let me do this, let me do that, let me try this. And I'm guilty of this myself. I would try so many different ways to make money, so many different ways to build a business that I never gave it enough time and focus and directed energy to actually see results, right? And some people say, hey, well, I didn't like doing it. I did it for a few months. I didn't really enjoy it. You can't stop a new business, you can't stop a business or stop pursuing something because you're not having fun without seeing results, right? Wait till the results come. Focus so hard on this one avenue. Focus, focus, focus. So you start seeing results. When you start seeing results, then you can decide, hey, is this for me? or hey, this is not. If you're working a business, say you're doing something like e-commerce, right? If you're doing e-commerce and you're going at it for 6 months or 3 months, whatever, you're not seeing results, and you're saying, you know what, I'm not really enjoying this. I don't want to do this anymore. Bye. You're never going to see growth. You're never going to see the fruits of your labor. Instead, if you focus on this one thing, really give it all your all. Really give everything into this. Focus every single day. Don't get distracted. And when you see results, at that point, you're going to start seeing your fruits, right? And at that point, you can really start determining, hey, is this for me or it's not for you? And in many cases, you're going to feel this way. You focus, put on all this work. Hey, you're getting that dopamine from building this and making steps and making progress, right? So you're getting these little hits. That's what you want to train your body to do. And then as you stay focused over a period of time, you're going to start seeing results. And guess what? All of a sudden, something that you thought you didn't enjoy becomes invigorating. You sort of get renewed with a new sense of energy and passion for that thing. So that's why I always tell people, don't quit something until you start seeing results, which doesn't make sense, right? Because um, if I'm seeing results, why would I stop doing it? Right. But sometimes there are some things that you're like, I'm seeing results, but man, it's taking everything out of me to do this, or I'm quite miserable and it's not worth the results. Right. So that's something to keep in mind. So stay focused. This means stay focused on one thing, hone in on it, get really good at it, whether it's a skill, whether it's, a particular lift, whatever it is, learn to focus. There are way too many distractions. There's never been more distractions in this world. And the men that can stay focused are going to get ahead. And then my last one is maybe my most like mainstream one, but it really is incredibly valuable, and it's also changed my life and many others. And that is surrounding yourself with better men. Um, you know, a lot of us who are ambitious, a lot of us who have dreams, visions to become the best man we possibly can. Sometimes, we're I don't know the best way to say this. We're sometimes um, the peak in our friend group. So what I mean by that, meaning, we're the one, maybe we're the only one that's really pursuing self improvement. We're the only ones that are really trying to maximize our potential as men, and those around us are not doing so. So we're always seen as like the image of, hey, like man, like you're the man, like you're killing it, man. But it isn't until you start meeting with men and surrounding yourself with men who are quote unquote better than you, right, ahead of you, more experienced, whatever it may be. It isn't until then when you start being humbled, first of all, humbled, which is a good thing because you start realizing, like, man, I can be doing so much more. But then you also start to pick up on the traits that made these men the men that they are, right? It makes natural sense. If you're hanging out with a bunch of losers, you're going to be a loser in many cases. And at the very best, you're going to be someone that's held back by a bunch of losers, right? So surrounding yourself with better men is going to get you ahead of most men because most men are content with where they're at. Most men are happy with their friend groups that keep them doing the same things, right? And yeah, I'll talk about video games because that's mostly where I spent most of my time doing in the past. So I can speak on more of that personally. And sometimes your friend groups are gonna wanna your friend group, yeah, hop on a game. Instead of you focusing, locking in, and building, you're consuming a game, right? Hey, hop on, man, hop on. This is stuff that's taken away from your time to focus and build and become that better man. So surround yourself with men who are better, who have the right habits, have the right mentality, and it's contagious. It will rub off on you. You will start to be inspired by this, and again, just re-energized to do it. It's like, man, I could be doing so much more. I've seen it in my own life, and it's nothing like being with, surround yourself with guys who are crushing it, and the image and have the character of what you want to be, because um, they can show you exactly how to do that in their daily actions and through their conversations. So, these are my 5 steps to becoming a better man and getting ahead of other guys here in 2025, but also any year. I'm not saying anything specific. These are just things that you can apply in your life today. And just to kind of run it down quickly, hold yourself accountable, be real with yourself, redirect your dopamine, where you're getting that from, less consuming, more building, stay focused on the building, on the tasks that you have. Don't get distracted above and all. And then lastly is find men that are better than you. Surround yourself with men that are better with you. That's it for me today. I hope this video was helpful, and I'm looking forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.